This file comes from an archived police investigation labeled as Structurally Impossible Incident, Case Number 77B, and it begins with a routine inspection. The investigation was of an old residential building scheduled for demolition, but what was discovered inside the structure changed the entire classification of the case. The building itself had no official records of construction approval, yet it physically existed and had been occupied for years. According to neighbors, the anomaly was first reported when a maintenance worker noticed an additional apartment that was not present in the original architectural blueprint. The building contained 6 floors, and each floor had 4 apartments, except the 4th floor, where there were suddenly 5 units instead of 4, and the 5th unit had no registration, no number, and no listed tenant. The worker initially assumed it was a storage room, but the door was identical to all other residential units, except for one detail. There was no lock, only a smooth metallic surface with no handle, no keyhole, and no visible mechanism to open it. Despite this, the door would sometimes appear slightly open during certain hours of the night. According to multiple residents living on the same floor, the first official entry attempt was made by building management accompanied by a local inspector. When they arrived at the 4th floor, the door was fully closed and completely silent, but the moment they approached it, the ambient sound changed. The hallway became muted, as if the space around the door was absorbing sound instead of reflecting it. The inspector reported feeling an unusual pressure. They attempted to push the door open, but it did not respond to force. Instead, it reacted only when no one was touching it, slowly opening inward without mechanical sound, revealing a dark interior space that did not match the building's layout. According to architectural measurements, the apartment inside was larger than physically possible, extending far beyond the external boundaries of the structure itself. The investigation team entered with cameras documenting everything, but the footage later recovered shows immediate distortion once they crossed the threshold. The hallway behind them was still visible, but no longer aligned correctly with the building. Geometry began to shift subtly. Rooms appeared longer than possible corridors leading into spaces that should not exist. Lighting became inconsistent and shadows behaved incorrectly. Sound began to lag behind movement. One investigator reported hearing footsteps following them from behind, but the audio feed showed no second person present. The most disturbing part occurred when they reached what appeared to be the center room, where a second identical door was found embedded inside the wall. This door was open, and inside it was another hallway, identical to the one they had just left, except reversed and slightly older in appearance, as if time itself had shifted within the space. When they attempted to exit, they discovered that the original entrance door no longer existed. The entrance was replaced by solid material with no seams, and communication with the outside team had completely failed. The final recovered audio log contains fragmented speech repeating phrases like "the building is adjusting," and "it knows we entered," and then abruptly cuts off, followed by 11 seconds of complete silence before a final unidentified voice is heard saying, "You were not meant to see the second layout." After that, all contact was lost and the apartment was sealed permanently, but according to later reports, the same door began appearing in other buildings, in different cities, always on the 4th floor, always without a handle, and always slightly open at night.